I've been deep down the rabbit hole on this one, and apparently, with gold and silver prices have been rallying like crazy, putting in new highs on an almost daily basis, leading many people to believe that a major financial collapse is just around the corner, worse than what we saw back in 2008. And of course, this would be terrible for the crypto markets. But what if many people are looking at this signal the wrong way? In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what this move from gold and silver is signaling to us right now, and why I, as a crypto holder, am quite happy to see it happening, because I believe it tells us something is going to be taking place over the next few weeks and months ahead for the crypto markets. Do me a favor, hit the like button, and let's unpack this. Now guys, before we dive in and find out why I think that most people have got the wrong end of the stick on this gold and silver trade and what it is actually showing us is about to happen for crypto, just a quick disclaimer. Nothing I say in this video is financial advice. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. If you wish to invest in crypto, you should understand that it's risky and you can lose money, so don't risk money that you can't afford to lose, and always do your own research before investing in anything. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's crack on with it. Now guys, if you've been paying attention to crypto Twitter, YouTube, or Bloomberg, then you've probably seen that a lot of people who normally talk about crypto have suddenly started to talk about gold and silver. Why is that? Well, it's for a few key reasons. One, because crypto has been boring as for months. I mean, look, Bitcoin hasn't gone lower than about 84k since December, and it hasn't really gone higher than 95k either. There's been good news, there's been bad news, but nothing really seems to be happening. And on top of that, gold and silver have been doing something miraculous, something that we haven't seen happen pretty much in our lifetimes. And this is very important to pay attention to, because gold and silver are very closely linked to what's going on in the global economy, and so is crypto. So by understanding why gold and silver are rallying can give us a very good idea as to whether or not we should be getting the hell out of the crypto markets or staying in them and awaiting what is likely to come after. So in order to do that, let's first understand what has been going on with gold and silver. Now jumping across to this gold chart, you can see something quite interesting. All the way back in August 2020, gold went sideways for literally 4 years. Okay, it had highs around $2,000 per ounce, falling to around $1,655 per ounce. It's like a 20% drop, only to eventually then break out in April 2024 and rally a whopping 168%. Now, that is a major move when you consider the market cap of gold is about 30 times bigger than the market cap of crypto. Now, what's even more amazing is what's happened to silver recently. Because silver, like gold, kind of went sideways and didn't do a huge amount between August 2020 and then eventually kind of started to push higher into May 2024. But in the last few months, ever since June 2025, silver has gone up around 265%, giving a chart that many meme coiners would be quite happy to see over on Pump Fun. Now, as you can see, something weird is going on. So what is it? Well, I believe there's two scenarios that could cause this move for gold and silver. What are they? Well, scenario A, fear and worry approaching the market. Now, you may realize that every time you see something about war coming up, or tariffs, or some other kind of like problems in government, or some other issue around the world, that you often see a spike up in gold and silver prices. And that's because these represent safe haven assets. Over thousands of years, gold and silver have been considered to be valuable. They have utility, they can be used in lots of different ways, and they're also considered to be relatively rare and difficult to extract or difficult to find, meaning that they always have some sort of a value. Now, if the market is scared and we have scary things happening, there's a good chance that lots of people will start to move their money into gold, anticipating something bad is on the horizon. So that would be our scenario A. We have a upcoming financial recession. Now, you've heard lots of people talk about it. You've seen the 18.5-year housing market cycle that finishes in 2026, which would suggest that at some point this year we are going to be heading into a major recession, but that could be taking place now, or it could take place at the end of the year, and whether it happens or not is very key to know, because as crypto holders, you should know that if we are heading into a recession, it would be terrible. It wouldn't be a great time to be holding crypto at all for many different reasons. But before we discuss whether scenario A is the one that we should be paying attention to, let's discuss what scenario B might be. Now, if you zoom out on this gold chart, you can see something quite interesting. If you go all the way back to the early 1970s, you can see that before that, gold basically kind of stays flat against the dollar. It doesn't really move up and down, and then all of a sudden it starts to kind of climb higher, having lots of chop and lots of excitement with a few major bull markets, one back in 1980, one back in like 2011 here, which was the last one, and then this one that we're seeing kind of happening now. So why did we have this flat line, and what changed in 1970s? Now, just a quick history lesson for those of you who are unaware. I'm sure most of you do know this, but if you don't worry. early 1970s, Richard Nixon, the president of the United States, decided to take the US dollar off of the gold standard. Now, before that, the US dollar, which is the global reserve currency where all other global currencies were linked to it, removed the dollar from the gold standard. The gold standard was effectively meaning that $1 bought you X amount of gold and would always be that way, which was good because it meant that the dollar never really changed value. If you had $10, you could buy $10 worth of stuff with it. This year, you'd also do that in 10 years' time. Now, that's obviously good for you as a normal person just holding cash, but it's not that good for an economy that wants to start growing, that needs to build roads, needs to build hospitals, needs to go to the moon, needs to convince Russia during the Cold War that they're a global threat and they can't be messed with, blah, blah, blah. Lots of other things like that. Okay, so off this, they basically built a debt-based system. They created debt, they printed money, and they used other countries around the world, the producers of goods, so countries like China, to buy their debt. So US basically created the debt, bought products from China, China used the profits to go and buy back that debt. Now, this obviously creates a problem. You, with your $100 in your pocket, if the US goes and adds 10% more to its dollar supply over the next year or so, it means that next year you can only buy $90 worth of stuff with your $100. You keep going to the supermarket, you feel like everything's getting more expensive. It actually isn't. The money you're holding is just getting worth less and less. The items still maintain their value. So the item valued in gold probably doesn't change that much, although obviously at the moment there's a big shift. So in scenario B, basically people are anticipating a significant amount of money printing, and basically they're going and buying gold because they are fearful that the money that they are holding will soon not be worth as much as it was before. Okay, if cash starts to lose value, it's obviously not worth holding. We've seen this happen in lots of countries around the world. Okay, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, major inflation problems where the government printed insane amounts of money. People basically lost their savings and everything overnight because their money was effectively worthless. So this is obviously a bad thing. Many people are now speculating on the fact that this may be happening to the US dollar. And if it happens to the US dollar, guess what? It's going to happen to a lot of other currencies because all of those currencies are pegged to the US dollar. But a load of money printing doesn't mean that necessarily the dollar is about to implode right now. Just might be about to lose a lot of value. Okay, so which scenario do we think is happening right now? Well, if scenario A was to be true, there would be a lot of other signals flashing. So let's go and see what those other signals might be. If we know that scenario A would be caused by banks, institutions, smart money, taking steps to avoid risk, to avoid things that could be potentially threatening to their earnings and whatever in the future, they would be also showing signs they are going risk off in a lot of other things. So are they doing that? Well, let's go and have a look. The S&P 500, which is the US stock market, as I speak, is at all-time highs. Okay, if I go to a daily chart, it is today at all-time highs. It's higher than it's ever been before. Okay, it means that people are investing in lower risk stocks. Apple's, Amazon's, Nvidia, whatever else. But what about the lower risk stocks? Well, this is the Russell 2000, which is the junk stocks. Low credit, not particularly great companies. Again, this is within a few percent of its all-time high right now. This is like the small cap altcoins of the stock world. They're nearly at all-time highs. What about the yields? What about the high-risk bonds versus the low-risk bonds that institutions and banks and whatever only ever invest in if they're anticipating a market moving into good financial conditions? Well, then we can look at the HYG, or the high yield growth, versus the IEF, which is like low yield growth government bonds. And you can see that right now this has been pushing towards the upside ever since November. And in fact, we have lows all the way back to pretty much COVID. And you can see that this has been in an uptrend ever since COVID, with obviously notable pullbacks along the way. Right now, we are in a period of time where we are likely going to be pushing to the next level, in my opinion, where we will be pushing up higher. And this tells you banks, institutions are now making moves based on risk conditions. They are favoring going towards risk. Therefore, scenario A, in which people are anticipating a global financial collapse, is less likely. Here's why. Smart money doesn't move towards dangerous stuff during times when they're anticipating something bad happening. And I know many people are like, yeah, but this YouTuber happens to have identified what's going on, and this other individual and whatever. Now, I know if you've watched The Big Short that Michael Burry did manage to predict the financial collapse in 2008 beyond anyone else, but I probably wouldn't hedge my bets on any individual YouTuber outthinking what the smart money behind the banks and whatever else is doing right now. Okay, I definitely can't. So I just follow what they're doing, and they don't appear to be showing me any signs of potential worry at all. Okay, the only sign of worry that people are paying attention to is gold and silver going up. But that's because they're only using scenario A in gold and silver going up, and they haven't thought about the other scenario in which gold and silver might go up, which is scenario B, which is because of insane money printing. Now, Here's the thing, because you're subscribed to the House of Crypto, over the past few years, we've had some big changes go on. We had COVID-19, during which the US government printed an insane amount of money. Because they had to bail out normal people through stimulus checks and things like that. They also had to bail out banks. They had to bail out big businesses, hospitals, you name it, okay? Tons and tons of money got printed. They created an insane amount of debt, which should have been paid off last year. But because there was so much debt last year, they decided to extend another year for their debt repayments. And this is all recorded in the OECD debt report. This is why the 4-year cycle is no longer, and we are now in the 5-year cycle, because a lot of debt will have to be repaid this year. How do you repay debt if you haven't got any money? Well, you print more money, of course. So, US government is going to print more money. We've already seen them start to do this, and this is what's caused more of a rally to happen recently. So the Federal Reserve has basically started to buy T-bills and print money to buy T-bills. They're doing around $50 billion over the next few weeks, and they will continue to do this. They will start to reduce interest rates, although they didn't yesterday, as the year goes on, and they will continue to print more money. These different factors mean that people are buying gold and silver based off of the fact that the US dollar is going to go down in value, which means that theoretically all other assets will go up against US dollar. So right now, while there isn't tons of money and liquidity flowing into the system that's funding this, what you are seeing is a preemptive move, okay? Banks, everyone is buying gold and silver based off of the fact that there is going to be debasement coming. Debasement, when it arrives, has a positive effect on crypto because net liquidity goes up. Net liquidity goes up, and on top of that, risk conditions get better. Interest rates come down as well, which means that if you are a small business, you can borrow money. You can borrow money, you can hire more staff, you can build more buildings, you can buy more different products from different local manufacturers, and everyone's happy. Everyone's got more money in their pockets, and this ultimately brings better conditions for the economy and ultimately moves crypto along. So there are clearly holes in the global economy, which is causing a lot of problems, but they're paving over those holes by reducing interest rates and printing insane amounts of money. We already know that Donald Trump wants a new Federal Reserve chair, and since Jerome Powell's on the way out, he's going to be getting his own man in with the instructions that he is to bring interest rates to 1%. If he gets interest rates to 1% and loads of money gets printed to pay off something like the $9 trillion worth of debt that is maturing this year, then you are going to see the ideal perfect storm scenario playing out. And we are seeing gold and silver rallying in the anticipation of a ton of liquidity arriving in the markets. Now, I know people are telling you right now that don't worry, silver's going to collapse and gold's going to collapse and all that money's going to fly into crypto. It doesn't necessarily have to work like that. All you're seeing here is the flow, okay? The flow is the signal. Gold and silver giving us the signal, the early signal right now. Stocks are showing us that that's starting to have a positive effect. The one at the end, if we think about the money sloshing towards the end of the barrel, is basically Bitcoin and then down into the altcoins. And effectively, that's what I personally am expecting to see happen next. Now, I don't know when that liquidity is really going to start to arrive into the markets in any meaningful way. So what happens in the very short term for Bitcoin and altcoins is kind of unknown, okay? You don't know whether the market maker decides that he wants to sweep another low down here, okay, like he did here, or whether he's just decided that enough people have already been shaken out, and in fact, that we can go straight up without having to do one of those corrections like here. Okay, I believe that we are somewhere in and around the bottoming zone here. I believe what we're seeing with gold and silver right now is telling us the expectations that we're going to see a flood of new capital arriving into the markets over the course of this year. And we're also seeing risk conditions getting more and more positive. Russell going up. We're seeing high yield corporate bonds going up. Okay, we're seeing the spreads in yields going down. This is other things that are all basically playing into telling us that we aren't expecting recession. Okay, recession is the biggest threat to crypto right now, but there is going to be a lot of things that can be done to avoid going into recession. Donald Trump does not want to go into recession before the midterms. He definitely doesn't want to see it in his presidency because it's pretty bad for the ego, I can imagine. And I think he'll be doing anything in his power right now to boost his economy. That's just my 2 cents. Now, guys, hopefully that's made things a bit clearer on gold and silver. To be honest, I don't know whether gold and silver can go higher. I don't know whether gold's going to go to like $6,000 an ounce or 7,200, which would be a big push. But from here, you've got to really ask yourself, that's like 9% to $6,000. That's like 30% to $7,000. That's really not significant upside, because eventually when this thing does blow off top, and it will, because every asset ever that goes up vertically also comes down fairly vertically, it's going to be a bit painful, okay? Anticipating when it's going to be, I'm not really in the mood to be doing that, okay? Just be very careful because they do sell off very quickly when the guys who are buying billions down here decide to take the money out, okay? And they are basically going to do that at some point. And the more I see people talking about it, the more focus I see towards silver and gold, the more cautious I become with every single day. So don't try and short it right now because you never know when it's going to turn around. But in my opinion, don't buy the tops. But just admit to yourself you missed it and look for other opportunities. I believe that right now crypto is somewhere in the bottoming zone and possibly plays out here for a few more weeks before seeing a bit of a shove higher. And eventually, whenever we get that run, I do believe that we're going to have a very painful move for a lot of bears that is very, very aggressive towards the upside. In the meantime, if you want to learn more about trading and understand how to trade in zones like this so that you can make money if the market's going up or down or sideways or whatever it is, then make sure you join the free trading Telegram linked down below. We have trading experts in there giving various different trading signals and also talking about their trading setups to educate people on how to trade. Whenever the market does sort of return to one of these like significant strong periods, it's very helpful to have a good understanding of charts and how they work, understanding of order blocks and all those different things so that you can maximize your earnings from being in the trade at the right time. So go and join that group. It's free. It's linked down below. Guys, hope you have a great day no matter where you are. Hit the like button if you've made it this far through. Leave a comment down below. Always helps me out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you later in another video.